Hey, game design students, we're here at the end of Unit 4, Activity 2, looking at making dialogue more interactive. So this will involve some scripting. So to allow for a spacebar press to change dialogue. So just taking a look at my project, I've still got to add a little dialogue box for my hero character. I added some directional lights. On my character, I needed to putz around with some of the ranges and the intensity. So if I launch, you can kind of see how it looks. But now I want to make it possible to um, have a spacebar press change it. So one thing that I wanted to mention is, the ability to copy things within Play Canvas. So when I'm making my second 2D screen, or sorry, not my second 2D screen, my second the enemy dialogue. So I have my enemy text and then my that enemy box right there that the text is nestled under. I should be able to make a copy of it and then reuse it for my main character. So if I duplicate, there we go, and it's attached to the 2D screen as well. So now I should be able to take that other screen and slide it over. So anything to make life easier. And then I can change the text to green and I can figure out what I want my character to say as well. So we'll launch it, just make sure it's showing in there pretty well. All right, kind of like the way that looks, but it's not balanced. I'm going to move my enemy over a little bit, but looking pretty good. Um, One thing to notice is that I haven't used this feature as much as I should. If you want to zoom in and work closely on a certain item. So if I want to work closely on my enemy character, I can click the eyeball and it's going to zoom in my focus on just him. And then I can, whoops, let's undo. I can hit that arrow and I can slide him over a little bit and then launch and see what it looks like if it's a little better balance. I could also use the coordinates as well rather than guessing and checking. And I think I'm going to balance this text off to the side a little bit as well. So I'll deal with those little aesthetic pieces in a little bit. But let's go back to our lesson. So the first thing it's going to ask you to do in step 1 is to do some labeling of your objects. So we're going to be renaming our hero character and our slides. So I'm going to go ahead and do that by renaming those objects. So right here, I'm going to name that rename. So to rename my enemy character, I'm going to go up here and call it, slide 1 enemy. Using capitals, no spaces, naming conventions super important. So now that's renamed. Then I'm going to name this one slide 1 hero. So going over here, and then I'm going to rename the slide to the dialogue, slide 1 image for the dialogue that has the text nested under it. So I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so as I resume, you can see I have my enemy image named slide 2 image. Let's just focus on that. And then my hero image, slide 1 image, slide 2. Probably best for me to rename this hero text so that there's no mistake. So hero text, enemy text. All right, let's move on. Now we're going to get to the part you love the most, which is adding script. So we're going to add a script called intro, and it's going to be added to the camera. So let's take care of that. So I'm clicking on the camera. So once I have that selected, down here you can see there's no scripts on that camera, so I'm going to add a component, add a script, and I already forgot what we're calling it. We're calling it intro. So let's go on down here, add script. Oops. Click create script. And and we'll call it intro. All right, I've got my script called intro right there. Then we'll open it on up and check out what's next. We are going to be using a key press script, so we'll be copying and pasting the key down script. Then we're going to want a variable called slide counter and initialize that at 0. So we're going to copy slide counter. We're going to paste that in. It says at line 6, so we want to enter and keep that curly bracket and semicolon. So we've initialized a new variable. Now we're going to do a key down event to trigger every time we press a key. Keep in mind, sometimes there's extra curly brackets and semicolons, so we'll make sure that the syntax is correct. So we're going to copy that. It says line 14. Let's take a look and see if that's really where it's going to go. I'm a little worried about that extra bracket there, but let's do that at line 14. All right, we've got our key down event set up right here. Now we'll go back. Okay, so now we are going to work on switching slides. Okay, so next, inside this event 15, we're going to have an if statement, and there's going to be a new if statement for every line of dialogue. So it's going to be checking if the space bar is being pressed, and then it's going to activate the counter to move from slide to slide. That's why we were naming the slides by number, so that's really important. So we're going to copy that text, take it on in at line 15, so it's within this key down function. There it is. Let's check what's next. Now I only use this once. I'm going to need to use this again for other slides to switch. So if you're reading, it says that we want our second slide counter to be above the first. So this text right here, this code, I'm going to copy it. So this is the original code that we just pasted. It needs to be in the opposite order so it's checking properly. So I'm going to go back here, line 15 where that was, I'm going to enter. And let's enter this one, but now let's see. All right, so I have slide counter 1 is above slide counter 0. So now the next piece of code is going to allow your objects to transition between one character talking to the next. So we need to identify the objects we want to enable and disable. So we're going to identify our first object, and notice it's called slide 1 hero, capital S, capital H. Now the question is that how I named it? I hope so, but I'm going to go back and check. I did. So slide 1 hero is my hero object. So I have this that I'm going to copy, and we're going to go ahead and place this. Now it's saying it's at line 6. Let's double check. Okay, if you scroll farther in the directions down here, it actually shows the entire script. So we need to slide in these text lines 6 and 7 before the slide counter equals 0. So I'm just going to copy that and do that at line 6. So I'm going to place the cursor there, enter, do that at line 6. Again, if I didn't name things and spell them correctly, slide 1 image, it's not going to work. Looks like I did that. Capital I on image, capital S on slide, the number 1. Okay, so that looks correct. Now I don't want to miss this at line 16. I want to use the Boolean statement, true or false, to enable. We're going to put that, it says at line 16, but look down here, it's not. Looks like it's showing up underneath the key space event. So it looks like, let's see which key space event it's going to be. Underneath the, it looks like it's in between the slide counter 1 and slide counter 2. So I'm going to be placing it right there. Okay. And now I can just kind of double check. It looks like there's going to be this text for the image as well. Right there. Okay. It is nice that they include the whole script right here, so that you can check and double check line by line. So this is very helpful. As I scroll down, I could actually test mine to see if it's going to work. But now you're required to add 2 new slides. So your character is going to say 2 different things. Each character is going to say 2 different things. So let's take care of that. So this little section right here is actually involves quite a few steps. It says we have to identify the enemy slides in the initialize function next. So we have not done that. So right up here where it says this slide 1 hero, find by name, and slide 1 image, let's find that here. We need slide 1 or slide 2 enemy and slide 2 image. So in our text right here, we're going to take these 2 pieces of text code, we're going to copy it, enter, we're going to paste it, and we're going to change this to slide 2 enemy, being careful to spell it correctly, and slide 2 image. Now we've initialized both of them, Control S to save. They were not initialized initially, and that did not show up in their code. So then the next direction says we have to enable them in the on key down event when the slide counter equals 2. So I'm just going to resume for a moment so you can see I'm working in the background trying to get my code to work. I want you to know that all of these errors are because of spelling errors that I made. So I can't stress enough double checking that you are using the correct words within your code. I had slide 1 enemy and slide 1 image right here. Didn't work. Up here, I had the hero twice as slide 1, so things did not match. So you need to take a careful look that your spellings match. So I'm going to save my code. I did make some changes, and we'll see if it works now. Okay, so I'll launch and let you see it's still not working properly, but we're getting there. I'll launch. Now, I really am not sure I want this both to show up. So I need this to show up blank. So I've got to get a false statement in there. But I'm going to press the space bar. This is the effect that I'm getting, although I need to add my background corridor yet. Press the space bar once. Here comes my enemy, but the enemy image is not coming up. So I'm going to have to check about that. Press the space bar again. This is what should happen. Press it a third time. Nothing, because I don't have any continuing code. So I'm getting there. Okay, I found the error. So if you take a look at my lines 27 and 28, I don't know, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you. If you look at 27 and 28, what do you notice? Enemy, 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 enemy. I didn't use the word image, so I need to go back in and slide to image. There we go. Going to control save, and we'll go ahead and launch one more time. Okay, spacebar. Here comes my enemy in the text, and I do want my enemy to be speaking first. You might want your hero to be speaking first. And I still need to change the text here, but yeah, looking pretty good. Let's check out what's next. So Step 5, adding 2 new slides. So I want to continue my slide counter transitions and add 2 new dialog boxes. So if we're following along with our pattern, we're going to have um, slide 3 image, slide 4 image, so that those appear with our hero and enemy. We don't need to rename anything down here. That's going to stay the same. So you're going to be adding 2 more, and that can be simply copying and pasting. So copying and pasting, renaming them so that they have the appropriate names. That will also involve you going back into your script, and remember how we were working from the bottom up. And I will say that um, this false enabling only happened when I pressed the space bar. So I'm going to try to fix that. But we're working from the bottom up. So I'm going to be taking all of this text or all of this code, and notice the pattern. I have slide counter 0 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 3. So what's going to come next? 3 and 4. And then just be careful that you're using hero and enemy, checking that the numbers of your slides match, especially if you're copying and pasting. You are going to be submitting your game file, and I should be seeing some adjustments in your game design document as well. Potentially with some of your Tinkercad work over here. You're going to submit and export that for me as well. You can also share the publish link. More than happy with that. And then that is all. I'll also share the complete script so you can easily check your work too. So hopefully this helped you work through the lesson and you noticed that I had to troubleshoot. That is completely normal to have errors and to have to troubleshoot. So have fun, and I can't wait to see what you do.